gentlemen, let me introduce political commentator, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, and former member of the United States House of Representatives, Alan West.
Thank you so much for having me here at this Republican Jewish Community Foundation event. It's good to be here with my friends from the Russian community, the Jewish community here. And I want to say thank you to my rabbi, Rabbi Hausman, and also to the Consul General for being here this evening. I might start drinking tonight. You know, I've never drank before in my life, but being born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and being up here around all these New England Patriot fans, I might have to start drinking tonight. So I ain't forgot that game yet. But the real reason why I probably will start drinking is because I expect tomorrow that Robert Mueller will indict me for collusion with Russians. On Fox tomorrow. But the point at hand is this. Why are we here tonight? The wise King Solomon once said in Proverbs 22 and verse 6, train up a child in the way that they should go, so that when they grow old, they shall not depart from it. And in 1928, George Santayana once said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat. Tonight we are here to celebrate and remember history. Tonight we're here to honor an incredible miracle that happened. And before I go into this, I just want to say to all here tonight that have served in the United States, that have served in the Israeli, or served in the Russian military, please stand so we can thank you for your commitment to service, and thank you so much for your commitment to liberty. We do not have freedom, we do not have liberty unless we have men and women that are willing to make that last full measure of devotion, that sacrifice for us to enjoy it. And when I think about this incredible miracle that we're going to celebrate and think of tonight, I go back and I remember how in 132 to 135 AD, a certain individual by the name of Simon Bar Kokhba stood up to fight for Jewish freedom, stood up to fight for liberty against the invasion of the Romans. See, the Romans under Emperor Hadrian had come in, and they had taken over the land. They had taken Jerusalem and renamed it to Aelia Capitolina, and that was something that Simon Bar Kokhba could not stand for. But unfortunately, in that revolt, some people call it the second, some people call it the third Jewish revolt, the Romans were successful in defeating Simon Bar Kokhba. And the interesting thing was that to punish the Jews for what they had done, Emperor Hadrian decided that the land that was known as Judea would not be known as such anymore. It would be renamed as Palestina, P-A-L-A-E-S-T-I-N-I-A. And interestingly enough, that name does not come from the Arabs that are there today. That name comes from the root word being Philistia, the ancient Philistines. And if you know your history, you know that the ancient Philistines were Greek of origin. So the whole point, and when we hear about this land, we hear about this Palestine, the word was introduced because of punishment to the Jewish people, because of the diaspora that was started in 135 AD. And I find it so interesting that 100 years ago, the British Foreign Minister, Lord Balfour, made his declaration after World War I, saying that they would reestablish a Jewish homeland in Palestine. And you listen to so many pundits, you read what is happening in the Arab world, they're talking about this as propaganda. They're trying to discredit that. The whole point is this. It was always the Jewish homeland. It was not Palestine. Lord Balfour was only doing what was proper and what was correct. But if we don't teach these lessons of history to subsequent generations, if we don't continue to have gatherings such as this tonight, Lena, then we may have future generations that do not know this history. They fall into this trap of propaganda, believing that all of a sudden this thing called Israel was something that just happened in 1948. And what happened in 1967 is an important thing to remember. Because once upon a time, people used to say, see you next year in Jerusalem. And now we can truthfully say that. Because finally, in 1967, the Jewish nation knew what it had to do. The Jewish nation that is surrounded by 22 hostile nations decided to fight. And those of you that know military history will understand that no military battle, no success has ever been done on defense. And that's why they fought. And they took Gaza. They took back Jerusalem. They took the Golan Heights. But ladies and gentlemen, as the president of this great organization just said, this fight is not over. Because 50 years later, look at what is happening with Israel. Look at the fact that it is surrounded now by Hamas, surrounded by Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad, Al-Quds, Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade. We have Islamic State that is still, in essence, thriving because we did not completely defeat them and totally disarm them. We allowed them to leave Raqqa with all of their arms and ammunition. We, the United States of America, for whatever reason, with a failed foreign policy, provided billions of dollars to Iran, an Iran that is seeking nuclear weaponry, an Iran now that controls the government in Baghdad, an Iran that continually says death to Israel and death to the United States of America. We have the BDS, the boycott, the divestment, and the sanction policy that is going on in the United States of America and also in Western Europe. All of these things are the new challenges. The United States of America cannot exist without the modern-day state of Israel. And people always ask me, why is it that you care so much? Why do you stand so much with the Jewish people? It's very simple. If you were born and raised down south, every Sunday you woke up and you went to Sunday school. And in Sunday school you learned the history of the Jewish people. And in Sunday school you learned this incredible, inextricable connection between who we are. You understand the Judeo-Christian faith heritage and the values that make this country what it is today. So that I can stand here and say that my most memorable and one of my most favorite military commanders is Joshua. And I remember it because my favorite verse comes from Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. To be strong and of good courage, for the Lord thy God shall not leave you nor forsake you. And I believe that that is what Israel understood when it was created in 1948. I believe that that is what Israel understood in the Six-Day War of 1967, when Israel only had 264,000 troops, and they were arrayed against them 547,000. And Israel lost less than 1,000, and it inflicted over 20,000 deaths against the enemy. That shows you the power and strength. Because as it says in Genesis, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. And when you think about all of the nations that have been defeated in the land of the Jewish people, it is because there is something about you and that you are truly God's chosen people. But we must realize that, and we must stand up and we must fight for it. Not just to continue to have these galas every year, but every day you must go out and fight for your heritage. Every day you must go out and stand against the evil. Every day you must fight against this propaganda that is out there that tries to say that you have no right to this land. Before there was a Muhammad, there was an Abraham, there was an Isaac, there was a Jacob, there was Joseph, there was David, there was Solomon, and there was my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So how is it that anyone can stand up and say that you don't exist? But yet, that is what is being said today. There will not be peace in the Middle East until there is a recognition of who you are, the Jewish people. There will not be peace in the Middle East until those people, such as Mahmoud Abbas, put down their arms and stop condemning who you are and your existence. There will not be peace in the Middle East until countries like America and Europe stand up and stop shunning this modern-day nation state of Israel. There will not be peace in the Middle East until all of us link arms together and fight for what we believe in, to make sure that this great nation, these two great flags that we see represented on this stage, which if there are two representations of liberty, freedom, and democracy, if there are two great beacons in this world, it emanates from these two flags. Congratulations. On 100 years since Lord Balfour made the declaration, a declaration of what we know to be true. Congratulations on 50 years of bringing Jerusalem back together and understanding that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And I look forward to one day when the United States of America finally does what we have said and what we have promised to do, finally does what we have done with every other country in the world. We put our embassy in the capital of the state of Israel.